Hey everyone, welcome back to Cabrillo. This is episode 15, the second episode of the week, and today we are going to be moving away from Morgan. We're going to be moving back into downtown Cabrillo, and the main thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the Union Station, which I was going to build a little while from now, but I decided to just speed that process up. We're also going to fill all those gaps you're seeing in downtown, or at least most of them, because it's looking pretty empty. But first, Inspiration Station, we're going to be looking at Sacramento Valley Station as inspiration, as well as Portland Union. Sacramento Valley is a station that I've been to a lot of times. I love it. I take Amtrak California there from the East Bay, and I mean, beautiful trains, amazing accommodations. I love Sacramento Valley Station and the trains that take me there, and we've got these exact trains in Cabrillo, so that's really exciting as well. And there's also a light rail connection to Sacramento Valley Station, and Portland's Union Station also has a light rail connection to it. We're gonna have a light rail connection to our station, not functional yet, but Portland Union's really cool. We're gonna have, you know, kind of a similar layout to that, maybe a little bit of a hybrid of the both of them, but those are the two main stations that I'm kind of looking at. But I'm also just trying to fill in the space as efficiently as I can, and in a way that makes sense for Cabrillo's context. So you'll see it turns out to be, you know, its own unique station. But yeah, we're going to be working on Union Station. We're also going to be placing down the first couple of bus lines for the city, and kind of revealing the Cabrillo bus. Except I'm not going to be talking as much about that in this episode, because we're going to have a whole episode dedicated to expanding the bus system, you know, a little bit soon, because it's just such an important part of the city, and I want to talk about buses as a mode of transportation, all those other things that I would, you know, have to skip over here in this video that's kind of got another topic. But I did want to get some bus lines down, just because, you know, even if I'm going to have a video dedicated to the bus system, maybe give you a little teaser, and also, you know, just get some people on the bus, because there are tons of, like, the thing is, I don't really think the simulation's ever accurate, and for some reason, just people are walking obscene distances in the city, just like as transportation, for some odd reason. And you know, once I place the bus lines down and also the train connection here, people are taking the train from here to, you know, to Morgan. It's very bizarre. They're seemingly demanding public transportation, but not in a very realistic way. But regardless, we're going to give it to them. You know, not really going off the simulation here, just like observing some odd behavior of it. So for the station here, I'm using a building I didn't actually know existed in the workshop until Derek from the Discord let me know about it. It's the Harvey House building, you know, Barstow's historic station. Barstow, California, it's like a desert town kind of in between Vegas and LA and San Diego. It's kind of an interesting place to go through, because it's got tons of freight rail activity, lots of historic you know, rail stuff going on. I think there's a railroad museum in the station now, because I was actually there. I went through there. It was like right before I moved to California. I was driving from like Vegas to San Diego like a couple months before, and went, you know, I just realized when I was looking at the location of this building on Google Maps, I've been there to that exact place. But it was very cool. You know, some old trains and stuff. It's a really interesting place to check out if you're making that drive, so I'd recommend it. But I'm using the station here. The architecture works better than I thought it would. But I'm imagining that it isn't actually a station historically, because this right-of-way, the rail line that goes through here that we're using, is actually it is a logging railroad, and I'm not really sure that you know, passenger rail would be operating on that historically. You know, it makes sense maybe for Amtrak to operate on it now that, you know, there's barely any other rail activity on it. But yeah, I'm just thinking historically it wouldn't make much sense. So maybe that's like a historic city hall, or I don't know, something like that. Just something that's something that is not a station, because I don't really know how much sense that makes, considering it's like a logging right of way. Anyway, I'm planning the first bus line. This is going to be one of the local buses. So we're gonna have a local bus system and a rapid bus system that's gonna kind of double as BRT. bus rapid transit. I'm going to explain that further in a future video, but right now I'm kind of planning this bus line through the Alameda Avenue corridor. This is probably going to end up getting its own rapid bus line in the future in addition to the local bus line, a line that'll end up going a lot faster and make fewer stops. But for now, we just have that local line. I'm also going back into downtown, so we've kind of finished the station there. We're going to come back to buses in a little bit, but so we had a vote on the last poll that I did in the series so far, where I really realized that I was framing the polls badly and it didn't make any sense, that I was just kind of asking if I should build some sort of greenfield development, meaning like just development on a blank slate, when it really isn't historically a blank slate. So it really didn't make much sense the way I was doing polls. But I had asked and people wanted a big park in this area here. So kind of as a compromise, because a bunch of people pointed out like this doesn't make any sense, and that's why I stopped doing polls for now until the city's more built out. I decided as a compromise, I'm gonna kind of build park space into these lots here, but also have buildings on them for the most part. Like there's only 1 or 2 blocks that are gonna be just impossible to place buildings on anyway because the geometry's weird. Those are the only places where it's just a park, but there is green space in here, like pretty high quality green space next to these buildings, and then also this building, which is the tallest building in the city, which I actually have yet to name. But I should probably name that because it's a really important skyscraper. It's the tallest building that we've got in Cabrillo. At least I think it is. But we're kind of just filling in a bunch of blocks here. That's what we're going to be doing for a lot of the remainder of the video. I'm just trying to fill in space in downtown. I was going to fill in more, but I need to get this video done, and I'll just do that another time, maybe on my own time. Just mostly the area that's by the Steel Heart of Cabrillo and some of the CBD areas I need to fill in, but very little, and it's repetitive work, and I just wanted to show you what my process is on some of these blocks that are very very weird and hard to place buildings on, because it's hard to plan buildings on these lots that are kind of odd shapes, but I managed. It's not perfect from above. I don't really care, but yeah, I'm just trying to show that there are a lot of historic areas here in Cabrillo, but there are also a lot of areas that have historically been very low-rise buildings or mid-rise buildings that are getting rebuilt into luxury apartments now. The land values in downtown Cabrillo are astronomical. I'm imagining that they're SF levels or even worse. And Cabrillo's housing crisis is especially acute in its downtown, and that's why areas like Second Skyline exist to, it was untenable to continue not building housing, so the city had to build housing at Second Skyline, but it has so much further to go before it can actually solve its housing crisis that just keeps getting worse, and people are pointing to like say that liquor store I just placed, like kind of a nice building, but not that historical. Like people just point to that as like this can't be destroyed and replaced with an apartment building because it's historic, and it's like, well, kind of, not really. It's that you're just using that as a pretext to make sure that we can't build more housing. And not really that building in particular, but just generally, there's been a lot of resistance to taller, newer development in Cabrillo. People who think that the city's changing too much, and yet we really need to accommodate newcomers to the city, and the housing crisis is just obscenely bad in Cabrillo. And you'll see as we expand, I will properly represent the homelessness that's caused in the city, and stuff like that people have been wanting me to make sure I represent. And maybe we can explore ideas like social housing and stuff, and see what maybe Cabrillo is doing about that, because there's really intense land scarcity here. And that, combined with a lot of resistance to development, has just made it hard to accommodate newcomers in Cabrillo, and rents are just obscene. So anyway, so we're planning one of 2 rapid bus lines that we plan in this video. You're gonna see the buses in a moment when we go down on ground level. They're so cool. I'm so happy with them, and I'll thank you know, the creators of those in a moment, but we'll give them more credit in the actual bus video, which is going to be dedicated to buses in Cabrillo and buses everywhere else, and just talking about how they're such a great mode of transportation. Can't really wait for that. But yeah, these two rapid bus lines end at the bus terminal there at Union Station. And, you know, yeah, this one's going through Second Skyline, not on bus lanes, but on a wider road. And you'll see I placed bus stops that are seemingly too close to each other. That's just because the game was rerouting buses in a way I didn't like. But there you go. There's the first bus. That's a rapid bus, Cabrillo Rapid. So these buses are Ninja Noob Slayer buses, but the skin is by Jay Besquigglehausen, and Blue Thunder kind of helped put that together and get these buses uploaded, and I really cannot thank, I mean, those three creators enough, but really especially Jay and Blue Thunder for making these incredible bus skins. Look at that Cabrillo bus. You know, it might seem like the buses are going by too quickly and you're not getting to absorb them as well as you might want to right now, but we're going to, don't worry, we'll have a lot of time with these buses in a future video where we explore the bus system in Cabrillo. And yeah, I mean, look at this. We got the Cabrillo and California flags there. And just these buses, they're glorious. I'm just, you know, showing you all these because we're going to have, you know, they're going to be a lot more prominent very soon. In the city. I just want to give you a little sneak peek because I feel like you know, it's also a good excuse to go to other parts of the city like Chinatown here that we haven't been to in a while. And then here's the station. I really think the architecture works well, and I think it would make sense if this was like a historic city hall or something. This is the CMTA building that's going to run the transit system, and I put it right next to the building, the station house, because it's the CMTA building. Cabrillo Metropolitan Transit Authority is going to be the operator of these buses and the operator of the light rail system, which we'll have down in a couple of videos. We're going to have lots of transit content coming soon. I mean, this was transit content, but even more. I'm very excited, and I hope you're liking it. I hope you like these buses. Thank you so much to Besquigglehausen and Blue Thunder, and I mean Ninja Noob Slayer for the awesome models. And you can download these. They're on the workshop. I'll link them in the description. And once again, I'm gonna give these creators even more credit soon. We're gonna explore the buses even more in a coming video and talk about the history of Cabrillo's bus system. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. Downtown's looking a lot more complete now. I know this has been requested for a while, but we filled it out. If you want to download the save game, see what we did this episode, build on the map yourself, you can become a patron. Lots of other benefits for patrons and YouTube members if you're interested, so check those out in the description. You could also join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. All the good information is in the description. Before I sign off, shout out to Eroseru, Adam Murphy, Robinson Griffin, Railrunner, and Mike Olag. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel over on Patreon. Really appreciate it, and thanks to everybody else for watching so far. I know it was a shorter video, but there's another video that went out this week where we built the Clapper Stadium at UC Cabrillo and revealed the mascot. So check that out. It's on screen right now. Otherwise, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode of Cabrillo.